Hey kids, here's a fun review on my brand new buck knife. This one in particular is the Buck Omni Hunter 10 point, or 10 PT. And more specifically, this one is the Blaze Orange Mossy Oak camo pattern. First impressions out of the box was that I really like the case. It's a nylon case, not the most sturdy in the world, but it's definitely thick. It's not a cheap one you might get when you sign up for a nasty credit card and here's your free gift. No, this one's actually a good one. It's good thick nylon. Like I said, it's not the thickest, but it's sturdy enough that it's going to hold its shape and protect your knife pretty well. On the reverse side, you've got two different configurations for your belt carry. You got these two straps here to carry horizontally along the length of your belt. And of course, you got your classic vertical carry strap. It's a little bit thicker, but we all know how that one carries. I actually carried it a couple times in the horizontal configuration, and it was very comfortable. Since the knife is so light to begin with, and you run it along the length of your belt, it almost disappears right on your hip. I only rubbed my elbow on this bumpy part once or twice, just kind of a reminder that it was there. Not a big deal, but you're going to get that from any kind of a holster on your belt anyways. Moving right along, got the snap here. It's not Velcro, thankfully, but to boot, it's actually a good button. You hear that? It's a nice sturdy button. It's on there, riveted onto the case, really nice. And the snap itself actually takes a little bit of force to open it up and close it, so you don't have to worry about it falling out or falling open and your knife falling out of the case when you're out in the woods or the field. And even that's going to take a little bit of effort to get it out of there, so a little peace of mind to go along with a good case. Case aside, my first impression of the knife was actually surprisingly a little bit disappointing, mainly just because of the color. I got the knife in hopes that it would be similar in color, or even the Blaze Orange that it's advertised as. But if you can see here, the case is definitely a Blaze Orange where the knife is more of a rusty, burnt orange color. It's a little bit more similar to the natural environment that I was hoping. Or for instance, if you're out there cleaning an animal, especially in the fall season, you're cleaning out the animal, you set the knife down on the rocks, or sticks and dirt. You don't want it to disappear like your black handles or your real tree or mossy oak camo patterns. This one I was hoping would stand out a little bit more. It does stand out more so than your regular camo, but I was really hoping for a more vibrant, standing out, obvious kind of a color orange. But I guess I'll deal with that. Along with the handle, it is a two composite handle. Got the black stripe here, which is the softer, grippy rubber part, which I really like. Whether you're cold, hot, wet, or dry, wearing gloves or not, this is definitely a nice feature. I wish, however, that the entire handle was that material, because this is a really nice material. The orange, like I said, is another composite. This is the thermoplastic. Doesn't have the grip on it. It does feel like it's got a little bit of a texture there, but I think that might be just the nature of the plastic. But it is definitely a different material, and you can even hear the difference here too. Here's the rubber and plastic. Obviously different. The plastic is a nice sturdy plastic. It does have a little bit of give, but what plastic doesn't give a little bit? And the shape of the knife is nice too. The nice ambidextrous curve. It naturally flows with my fingers. I typically clean animals with one finger up on the spine, and it fits my other three fingers comfortably well. And it's actually a very natural feel to draw my cuts out. All four fingers on the blade, or excuse me, on the handle, not as comfortable, not uncomfortable, but not as comfortable as just the three. The pinky does hang off the bottom. But then again, I didn't get the knife to go stabbing things with it. I'm not going to go stabbing somebody or cutting down trees or anything. But for my three-finger accommodation, definitely a good fit. Back to the knife opening up. The thumb studs, I thought, were a comfortable thumb stud. It is nice to have them ambidextrous like it is. But I thought that it was lacking a little bit in the leverage. I actually had a little bit of trouble when I first got the knife, opening up the knife. I found myself trying to reposition my hands and my fingers to try to pry it open. By no means is this a difficult knife to open up, but I thought that the thumb tabs were a little bit too far back on the spine, and I thought if they were further up, like maybe this last jimping dimple right here, that it would give the thumb tabs more leverage on the knife and a little bit more control. And it would take a little bit less effort and thought process to get it open. Like I said, not a difficult knife to open up, but I think it could have been better. Moving down the knife into the ricasso, you'll see the stamp here is engraved with a 395, and in my particular case, an arrow that points to the left. I learned from Buck themselves that the number is the model knife. This one is 395, and the arrow is a year stamp. Since 1986, Buck has stamped each of their models with an individual, a unique to the year symbol, and this one in particular, with the arrow pointing to the left, symbolizes that this particular knife was made in the year 2010. And since 1986, they've put a new symbol on there. So if you look at your existing Buck knife and you see a symbol on there, go to Google, look up the year stamps for Buck knives, and you'll find out exactly when your knife was actually produced. However, anything before 1986, 1985 and older does not have that stamp on there. Further continuing on with the blade, the choil down here I thought was a little bit shallow. You can see you stick your finger in there like it's meant to be used, but the corner of the sharp part of the blade there does dig into my finger. Not only is it uncomfortable, but it would downright hurt if I was to actually use that for slicing and cutting for extra leverage. I would have much preferred a deeper choil, or at least shortened the sharp part maybe, or even did away with the choil altogether and made it an entirely usable half-inch of the blade there. Either way, I think it would have been a better deal than it is now. As it stands, it's pretty much a useless part of the blade for me. I just can't use that. Back to the top, I got the jimping on the top, and it even goes into the handle a little bit. It's comfortable. It doesn't dig into my thumb very well. That may or may not be a positive for you, but I thought that if the jimping was a little bit deeper or a little bit sharper, it'd have a little bit more use to it. But as it is, I'd be a little weary using that and utilizing that if it was wet or even cold out. Right now my thumb feels pretty comfy and grippy on there. I'm kind of warm, but I thought they could have made that a little bit more rigid, a little more grippy on there. But it is what it is. The Buck USA up towards the spine, nice deep engraved there. That's not going anywhere. It's not your cheap laser engraved or just printed on there. That's pretty well permanent. And it is a lockback design. Open that up. Locks nice and tight. There is no play between the handle and the blade. It doesn't wiggle at all. And further back you do have your lanyard slot for 550 cord or your archery D-loop material, or just your shoelace, whatever you want to put in there. That's up to you. All in all, I'm definitely not regretting the purchase. I'm definitely going to enjoy using this knife for what it's meant for, cutting open animals and cleaning. It's comfy, relatively cheap at 40 bucks, and it even comes with a good case to boot. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, or you can go right to buckknives.com. They're the gurus that made this stuff, and they know what's going on. Thanks for watching.